There are a lot of metals on the periodic table of elements, but only a few of those are fine. Casio has made G-Shock watches out of fine metal, and the series is called the Fine Metallic Series, and it has just been released to the United States. I bought 2 of them, okay? We'll be looking at those in an upcoming video, but here we're going to preview the entire series, G-Shock's Fine Metallic Series. And what's amazing is that, usually Japan gets the lion's share of these G-Shock watches. They get them first, they get them best. But the amazing thing here is that when released in the United States, G-Shock has added 2 more watches to the lineup. Japan only got 4, the United States got 6. So let's look at them. G-Shock's Fine Metallic Series. And we will be, later on in this video, we will be bringing up the periodic table of elements, okay? Because you cannot talk about fine metal unless you compare all the metals. So we'll be doing a rundown of the periodic table, discussing, which metals are the best, which are our favorite, and which are truly fine, okay? So according to the G-Shock website, this Fine Metallic Series is actually a subset of the G-Steel series. So this is the G-Shock G-Steel Fine Metallic Series. And on the website, they write, metal bezel design incorporating tough silicone band. And let me stop right here to say that people might be wondering what's different about the Fine Metallic Series. Because, doesn't G-Shock, don't they make metal watches? Metal watches have been around, since watches have been around. Because metal watches are like the original watches. It's the plastic watches that are new. Am I wrong? Well, here's the thing. Let me get my metal watch, my G-Shock watch, out of this metal toolbox. It is actually part of it's a GM2110D, all right? And so it is a metal watch. Actually, it's a plastic watch. But it has a metal bezel and metal links, okay? So those of you watching can see that these links, they're like links in a chain. They're attached together with little pins, right? And so it's a bracelet. The watch is strapped to the wrist via a metal bracelet. And the GM2110D has a resin case for the watch, and it has a metal bezel. So it looks like it's all made of metal, like metal watches are. Metal watches have a metal case. An example of that would be the only metal watch that I have here is the Citizen ProMaster Land. I do have one more metal watch, a Bertucci A5, but this, what I'm holding right here, is a metal case, right? And so this Fine Metallic Series, people might be scratching their heads. What's different about it? Well, that's what we're going to look at, okay? Because the amazing thing is that the strap of this watch, of the Fine Metallic Series, is silicone, all right? Which, when we see the periodic table of elements, you will see silicone is not truly a metal, all right? So anyways, going on with the copy on this website, which is gshock.com, tough silicone band complements the streamlined metal bezel design. The newly developed band's combination of silicone and urethane materials provides both strength and flexibility, and vapor deposition is used to give the band a metallic look that harmonizes with the bezel. Choose from silver and gold options. And here is the lineup. There are 3 gold watches and 3 silver watches. There are 3 analog watches, and there are 3 digital watches. There's one digital watch that has a negative LCD, right? And of the 2 analog watches, 2 of the 3, the dial color matches the color of the bezel. Okay, so it's like a whole rubric here of fine metallic watches, one to suit everybody's taste. So what is different about these 6 watches And by the way, these are the 6 watches that are available in the United States. What are the difference between these and the ones released in Japan? Well, I had to go to the Japanese website, and I did something a little unscrupulous here. See, this is the Japanese website, gshock.jp, and just got to look to the left and to the right over my shoulder, make sure nobody's watching, because this pop-up says select a location, United States or Japan, and I'm going to click Japan, and hopefully nobody saw that. Don't tell anybody. This is the Japanese website for G-Shock, and I am in Texas, which is part of the United States. All right, their Fine Metallic series has 4 watches, and, we can go back and forth and play. One of these things is not like the other. You can find the odd man out. It took me half a day to, figure it out, but the new watches available in the United States are a silver square G-Shock watch with a positive LCD. That's right, positive LCD. In Japan, these watches, they're silver square as a negative LCD, and that one is available in the United States. But G-Shock just knew us. They knew me, and they knew you, the viewers of the Jim Kincaid YouTube channel. They knew how much a fit you would throw if they released a negative LCD watch in the United States without a positive LCD option. And so, knowing the fury that they would face in the comments of my video from you guys, right, they have come through with a silver fine metallic square watch with a positive LCD, okay? They still have the negative LCD available in the United States, maybe for Japanese tourists in the United States, but for us, they have the positive LCD silver square, okay? Huge breakthrough, all right? Because, yes, I was planning on ranting about that. So it's amazing that they released that watch, all right? And so in Japan, they have a gold fine metallic square digital watch, and the gold square has a positive LCD. They have the silver one with a negative LCD, as we discussed, and they have a silver Casio with a silver dial. Then they have a gold Casio with a black dial with gold indices. Now we're switching back to the tab that has the watches available in the United States. All of the same from Japan, with the addition of 2 more, which are, as I said, the silver square digital watch, positive LCD. We already went over that. But then they have a gold Casio with a gold dial, which I think looks really cool, okay? And it's amazing. Sometimes I wonder, how many of Casio's decisions in the manufacturing of the G-Shock watches, some of the things that some of their decisions make no sense to us. It might be a cultural difference. I hypothesize that the Japanese like negative LCDs way more than us Americans. Okay? Because, Casio just keeps making them, right? And when they release these watches in the United States, they have to be like, oh, Jim Kincaid and all the Americans, they're going to want the positive LCD screen. And so that's exactly what happened. Japan released 4 fine metallic watches in January 2025, and now here we are in February 2025, and they've released the fine metallic series into the United States with the addition of 2 more watches that fit our tastes, okay? And I think that I'm wondering whether there's cultural differences between the United States and America. It wouldn't be the first cultural difference between our 2 nations. Maybe it's the most poignant of our differences. What do you gentlemen think? And by the way, as I said before, I bought 2 of these. I have them in a box. I have not even unboxed them yet, okay? There was this big ordeal getting the box because I was on a job, so I was down in a different part of Texas. So I had it sent to my hub, my work, the shop. I had it sent to the shop. And then, of course, I got stuck on a job that was in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And so, like, I was trying to track it down, and thanks to Daniel, we tracked down the box. It was actually on the frac side. Somehow it got delivered to the wrong side of the shop. We got the box. I finally got united with the watches. I have not had a chance to unbox them in the chaotic fashion that we do here on the Jim Kincaid YouTube channel, but I will do that in an upcoming video. This video, we're previewing the whole series because, again, some of you might be wondering what the heck is going on here. Is this just a metal color? Casio has already done that. Metal watches, that's very common in the watch world to have a metal watch. What's unique about this? That's what we're looking at in this video, okay? To actually see the watch, I'll pop in a link for that unboxing video when I make it. We just want to talk about the alchemy involved because I know that some of you might be so scientific that you don't believe in alchemy, but guys, how do you combine silicone with metal? That's what Casio engineers have alleged to do, okay? So let's read this article. This is an explanation, and this is from Casio's Japanese website. In this article, it's actually an interview, is translated by the Chrome web browser. So this is a Google translation, all right? And so I don't know how accurate it is, but this was published January 9th, 2025. And the title is 10 Years in the Making, the development story of G-Shock's tough silicone band. Casio Computer Limited will release 4 models of the G-Shock Fine Metallic series that use the newly developed tough silicone band in January. This time we spoke with product planner Shinji Seito, designer Takumi Yasuda, and designer Hayato Ikuzi about the development story behind the tough silicone band, which took more than 10 years to develop. Development of a new band that has been in the works for over 15 years. Seito says, actually, the idea of vapor depositing metal onto a resin band has been around for over 15 years. However, it was difficult to achieve to a quality that could withstand the strict standards of G-Shock. It may have been tolerable as a fashion watch, but it still wasn't enough for a G-Shock, which touts its toughness. Also, as a separate idea from the design aspect of applying vapor deposition to the surface, we had the idea of using silicone, which is a soft resin material that fits well on the wrist. However, silicone is vulnerable to wear and tear, so there were still issues to overcome before using it on a G-Shock. The development of this band was initiated by 2 separate goals that were considered parallel. We want to create a resin band with a metal texture, and we want to use silicone in a G-Shock. These 2 goals were then combined to come to fruition. The breakthrough was the idea of layering different materials. Yasuda says, in the past, we had tried vapor depositing and painting the surface of a resin band, as well as various printing methods. It made repeated prototypes, but none of them were able to produce the high-quality texture and durability of a metal. Given that, what made it possible to realize this band was a new idea of layering urethane resin over the silicone material. By using silicone material, which is comfortable to wear, on the back and highly durable urethane resin on the front, we have improved abrasion resistance. I believe that this was only possible because G-Shock is a company that is proactively challenging itself with new ideas like this. In addition, the surface is covered with a thin, transparent sheet, and the reverse side is vapor deposited to prevent it from falling apart like plating. The cooperation of Sun Arrow Company Limited, which has strengths in the processing silicone materials, was also a great help in realizing the new structure. We are particular about creating a metallic texture that is comparable to real stainless steel. Akuzi says, in terms of the design, the mirror-like texture of the metal used in this product makes distortions very noticeable and difficult to hide. So we made simple samples over and over again to ensure that we were as particular as possible about the texture. Unlike the resin models in the series, DW5600 and GA2100, this model has fewer steps and holes on the band surface for a simpler design that allows you to enjoy the texture of the mirror more. However, it retains G-Shock-like elements such as the unevenness of the band continuing from bezel and dimples, aka circular recesses, polishing the design right up to the last minute of the production schedule. Yasuda says, even after the new band structure was approved by the product planning and design teams, we continued to make improvements right up to the last passable moment to mass produce it. We made many prototypes to ensure that the texture would be comparable to that of the metal bezel when combined. And although the planning team told us that the texture difference between the bezel and the band, which are both made of real stainless steel, was not acceptable, we continued to refine it to this level. Silver was especially difficult. The bezel has the same texture as stainless steel, so when we tried to match it, the color of the metallization of the band was subtly different, such as blue or yellow, and the surface was distorted, so we had a lot of trouble making improvements. I just want to jump in here and say I am really excited to unbox these watches, okay? Like, just reading about all of this is just, it's like, I just want to rip open the box right now, okay? I don't want to wait. I don't want to, wait. I just want to rip open the box and see what it looks like, because it's metal. It's like it's gold. It's like gold and silver. It's fine metal, you know? But I'm going to have to be patient, okay? The unboxing will occur in an upcoming video, okay? So let me just summarize. Let me just jump in here to summarize what they're saying. They've matched the bezel, like the bezel of the watch is actually metal. It's actually metal, right? The band is like a plastic band, but the part that touches your skin is silicone. And then like the outer layer of the watch is metal. And it matches. The metal of the band matches the bezel, right? That didn't happen on some of G-Shock's watches. Like the sparkly metal one. They had a special limited edition run of this recrystallized metal. Like, it's sparkly and it looks rugged, or it looks jagged, you know, like crystallized. You touch it and you think it's like sandpaper. When you touch it, it's not. It's smooth. However, on that series, the bezel has a slightly different color than the band, right? Or it's the bracelet in this case. And it's kind of weird. I didn't talk about it that much because I don't actually own that limited edition series. I saw it at Paramount Jewelers in the Music City Mall, Odessa. Okay, so this fine metallic series is an actual metal bezel on a G-Shock watch, and a band that is like a regular band, but the band is metallic. And some people might be saying, well, that's like, G-Shock has made metal colored watches before, but it's not metal color. It's like actual metal laid down on a band. All right, let me get into this article. Let me read this article some more, see if we can make some more sense of it. So this is Yasuda talking. He says, silver was especially difficult. The bezel has the same texture as stainless steel, so when we tried to match it, the color of the metallization of the band was subtly different, such as blue or yellow, and the surface was distorted. So we had a lot of trouble with making improvements. I don't even want to remember how many prototypes we made. Laughs. He laughed. Ciotto says, we really wanted to make a band that could be mistaken for stainless steel, so we checked this part very carefully. Ikuzi said, in terms of design, we were most particular about the texture of the metal. So we're very happy with how we were able to achieve this level of quality. And so, yeah, like these pictures here, like bling is an understatement. In these pictures, bling does not even begin to describe the sheen of this watch. Like it looks like when the evil Terminator, you know, crashed in a liquid nitrogen transport and became a blob of metal. It looks like melted metal. That's what it looks like. They have a couple pictures here. It looks amazing. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to tear open these boxes. Further expanding design expression. Saito says, the tough silicone band was not created just for this model. The primary objective was to achieve both the wearability of silicone material and the abrasion resistance of urethane resin. And as a byproduct, it also made it possible to create new design expression, namely a metallic texture. Therefore, we couldn't give up on the name Tough in order to convey the main user benefit of a band with improved wearability and abrasion resistance, which is characteristic of G-Shock. Ikuzi says, the back of the film can be decorated so it can be used in a wide range of designs, not just metallic textures. We want to try out even more designs, so please look forward to our future models. And that's the end of the article. And I'm telling you, I am looking forward to future models. I'm looking forward to this model, right? Stay tuned, gentlemen, for the unboxing, because we will see just how beautiful this looks in person. Maybe all these pictures are lying, and in person it's a dud. I don't know. But what they're getting at, when we look at these pictures, let me just go to one. So in this lineup, let me just look at this gold one. So this is a gold 5600. So it's a gold gold square. Now the band is flexible. The band is exactly like a regular resin band on a square watch in that it can bend back and forth. There's not links. It's a one continuous band. But the outside is metallic. It's not just like metallic color. I think it was it Turd Ferguson he's an absolute menace in the comments, by the way. But I had a video where I was talking about vapor deposition, and he chimed in and he's like, "Oh, vapor deposition? You mean spray paint? Is this like rattle can paint?" And in this article we just read, no, it's not just paint. It's not just painted on. That this is an abrasion resistant coating of metal on a urethane band, but the inside of the band is silicone. Okay. So I think at this point, well, I mean, you guys watching can see these pictures. All right. Now, those of you listening on the podcast, imagine a square G-Shock watch, but instead of that black plastic, it's just metal all the way through, all the way from one tip to the other. Right? The keeper is also metal. Let me pull up that picture. The keeper is metal. The buckle's metal. The tang is gold. Excuse me. The keeper's gold. The buckle's gold. The tang on the buckle is gold. The band is gold. The bezel is gold. The inner bezel is gold. And on this particular model, the LCD is positive LCD. But on the inside of the watch, we have this black silicone color. Okay? So it's a triple meat sandwich. One layer is silicone that touches your skin. The middle layer is urethane, which is tough. You know, it adds the toughness to the band. And the outer layer is metal, which is vapor deposition. So it has some abrasion-resistant coating. Oh, and here's one other really important thing to me, maybe to some of you too. Looking on the website, when you click on exterior, click on the plus sign, you do an exterior check, and you look at compatible band size. All right, 145 to 215 millimeters. This is the longer side of G-Shock bands. If you are a big wrister, not all G-Shocks fit. If you are a big wrister, some of these G-Shocks, they just don't go out far enough. If you're over 8 inches around on your wrist, a lot of G-Shocks won't fit. These are long bands, right? They will fit a big wrister, so I'm hopeful that it'll fit me. And my wrist is, about 8.5 inches, okay? So, the periodic table of elements, when you look at the periodic table of elements, you got metals and non-metals, right? And so what's really interesting is that you got all the metals. And here's a factoid that I learned not too long ago. Of all the metals, metals are silver color, right? If you look at a metal in its elemental form, it's silver with two exceptions. What was that? What was that? Sorry. Those of you listening on the podcast may be wondering what's going on. Like balloons just went up on the screen. And I have no idea. One of you guys playing a prank on me? All right, I'm kind of creeped out. Anyways, you look at all the metals, there are two metals that are not silver in color. One of them is gold. Do you guys know what the other one is? Copper. Right? You think I'm wrong? Name another metal that's not like silver color. So anyways, the fine metallic series is silver or gold, right? And gold is the best, right? Because besides being gold color, it's like tarnish resistant. So, its reactivity is not as high as other metals. That's why it doesn't tarnish, is from what I understand. And I took chemistry in 1996, so I'm sorry if a lot of this information may not be accurate. I don't know how much the periodic table of elements has changed since 1996, but anyways, gold is like the top dog in terms of metals as regarded by us, human beings, man, Homo sapien, whatever you want to call us. We highly regard gold, right? Silver's kind of in second place, And so, but it's still way up there in terms of societal regard. Silver is highly regarded. It's a precious metal, we could say. Copper, even though copper is, like the only other metal that's not silver color, isn't quite hardly as regarded as gold. And who knows? Maybe there will be a fine metallic series in copper color. I think there's already been like kind of a bronzen color of a G steel watch. But anyways, metal is what is it? Is it like it's negative in terms of its valence electrons, so it combines with non-metals. Am I wrong? Okay, so carbon, we're a carbon-based life form, right? And carbon is in a family of elements, right? Carbon's number 6. Well, silicone is on the same like file. I don't remember what you call it. I think it's family. In chess, you'd call it a file, right? Number 14. So silicone is right below it on the periodic table, meaning it reacts to similar, it's the same like valence electron deal. So it reacts to similar metals, okay? And so I read this crazy article about, conjecture, we have carbon-based life form. It would be possible to have silicone-based life forms conceptually because, of the way that silicone reacts to the same substances as carbon. Kind of a ridiculous premise, but I think, it's noteworthy in the fact that silicone is like more compatible with us because we're carbon-based life forms. So it makes sense to me that you would have a band on a watch that has silicone touching you, But it also makes sense that silicone is not that durable because, it's because it's so nice to have by your skin from it being soft and pliable. It's not good in terms of durability, all right? Now, urethane, I think that urethane is derived from petroleum products, and so that's a good substance. It's not an element, obviously, but it's a good substance for a band because it's flexible and pretty tough, and, a lot of durability, in terms of tension, right? And so why not just spray paint it gold? Well, I mean, the paint comes off. That's the problem. And why not put and it won't match the bezel. Like the bezel of these watches are made of metal. Metal's malleable. And so you make a metal bezel watch and then you paint a band and it's obviously doesn't have the same luster as the metal. And it doesn't match. Well, this fine metallic series, the engineers at Casio did a lot of work to get the band to appear metal and to match the bezel and to have the comfort of silicone and to have the durability of urethane. That's the whole premise. And I'm excited about it, okay? Because it looks so cool. It looks cool. And so often a lot of watches that look cool from Casio, I can't even wear them. They don't even fit because they're small. These are on the larger size. We'll see how big they are. Now, it's noteworthy. I just want to reiterate again for a second time what was said in the interview that I read from the Casio.com Japan is that the holes are kind of spaced out a little bit further. By the way, I'm wearing a G-Shock Square that's a very long band and a lot of notches and a very flexible, pliable, and very comfortable material on this band. And I am wearing the DWH 5600, which I have for the past few weeks. And I like it a lot more than my initial, my initial reaction. What do you call it? Initial impressions to the watch have changed from wearing it a lot. It doesn't. It's like I'll talk about it in upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. Excuse me. But this is a very long band and has a lot of holes. So it sounds like the Fine Metallic series has a longer band with not a lot of holes, not a lot of adjustments. All right. And so, price-wise, in the American dollars, these cost a little bit more than the regular Casios and Squares, right? They cost more, obviously because they're metal, but they cost less than the full metal G-Shocks. And they're right around the same price as the GM2110D, that whole series. And like I said about the GM2110D, I liked it a lot. It's only $300, right? And I ended up falling in love with it. Appearance-wise, I kind of got used to wearing a metal bracelet, and I liked that too. It was like my casual wear watch, not just my church watch. I intended to wear it to church, and like I've explained to people wondering what's a church watch, well, it could be called like a dress watch. Obviously, it's not a luxury watch, but it's a dressier watch. I'm a Christian. When I go to church, I kind of wear nicer clothes than usual out of respect for God, just out of respect, and also for other people going to worship at church. But anyways, the GM21T is my church watch, and it became my casual wear watch because I liked it. I think it's great. I think it looks beautiful. And I got used to wearing a metal bracelet, and I liked it. Okay, but I ran into a problem where one of the pins popped out in the buckle, and the watch fell off, which to me is unacceptable, right? I can't have watches falling off, and I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was at Mighty Wash, just vacuuming out the car with Donald, and I made a video where I talked about that whole situation. Actually, I documented it as it happened on YouTube Live, or not YouTube Live, YouTube Shorts. I made a few YouTube Shorts. Everybody was blaming me for the fact that the pin popped out. Like I am somehow responsible for my actions, which is ridiculous. But I do want to read one comment in the video I made talking about the GM2110D. It's from the Greek German. And the Greek German says, because you always throw your watches in this box, and by the way, he's talking about this G-Shock box that I have right here. I got it with my G-Shock points. It's 900 G-Shock points. And by the way, I have other G-Shock. I bought other G-Shock point stuff, playing cards, and a rug. So like that would be a perfect bachelor pad, like a G-Shock rug and G-Shock playing cards. But anyways, let me get back to the Greek German's comment. He says, because you always throw your watches in this box, and because this is a heavy steel watch, due to the impact every time it gets smashed, the clasp was bending every time a little bit until the pin eventually became loose. It is a G-Shock, but you should not throw them. Otherwise, these things happen. And at the time I'm reading this, he has 3 thumbs up in agreement from you guys who also want to blame me for my actions. Unbelievable. And some other guys agreed with him. But I think it's an interesting theory that somehow abusing my watch would damage it. Interesting theory. I mean, we can test it out. You know, he's trying to say that me throwing my watch in the box is maybe what caused the, that damage. Well, the thing is that that's an interesting theory, but like on inspecting the clasp of this watch, the GM2110D is meant to be like a budget metal watch, okay? And it's only $300, right? And so when I'm looking at the clasp, my first impression, even before it broke on me, is that the clasp is just not very robust. And sure enough, it's what broke. And I looked at it closely, and it's stamped steel. So the tabs that are bent up to hold in the pin that holds on the bracelet, that could easily bend out. And the Greek German saying it's because I'm throwing it, that might be true. I mean, maybe that's a factor. Maybe it's true that if you abuse an item that it suffers damage. I don't know. But I do think that it could happen without abuse. Just the whole design, in my judgment, it's conceptually possible that a big wrister with like flexing his wrist a lot could put enough like bend into the flexibility of that metal that the pin could pop out. It could happen, And so I'm not saying that the GM2110D is a bad watch at all. I love it. I'm really sad that it popped off my wrist, right? And I don't want to discourage anybody from buying it. I just want to let you know that it's not super durable. And someone said that I should try the next level up. Who was it? Somebody. The YouTuber who Ader don't goder. I think I'm reading his name correctly. He says that I have to go up to the $550 level of G-Shock G-Steel watches to get some durability in the clasp, and that there's a stark difference in quality. And I'm gonna have to test it out. But I knew buying it that this $300 steel watch was more of a bargain, like a economy watch, right? And so what I'm getting at is that this fine metallic series is the same price as the GM2110D. So Casio G-Shock has released a watch that competes against its own watch. The same price point. You want a metal watch at around $260, maybe $300. Like, these are all different prices depending on whether gold or silver, whether it's a Casio or not. But say, for example, the GM2100YM, this is the fine metallic silver color, and it costs $260. The GM2110D costs $300. All right, so it's the same like price range, right? And the gold Casio costs $300. So you see what I'm saying? That these fine metallic watches are in the same price area as the GM2110Ds, which are the G-Steel watches, okay? Now, if they're the same price, I mean, which one looks better will be a judgment call, and after the unboxing, you guys can make a judgment which ones you think look better. But the thing is, in terms of durability, if you're buying a G-Shock for durability, the band on the fine metallic series is not a bracelet. So there's no pins. I mean, obviously the buckle has a pin, but it's not a pin like that's holding on the clasp to the links because of the GM2110D, because that one is one where we poke in from the inside. but the pins that hold on the band aren't subject to the same amount of torque, and they poke them in from the side. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that well enough, but the point is that there's fewer failure points on the fine metallic series. That's what I'm getting at. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it may not be as elegant as I'd like to describe it, but we'll look at them. We'll compare them. Okay? And so stay tuned for that video. And so, we whipped out the periodic table of elements describing these, which is pretty amazing. We compared carbon to silicone. We talked about metals, right? And so, like silicone, is a metalloid according to the periodictable.com, ptable.com. Carbon is a nonmetal. It's a reactive nonmetal. Silicone is classified as a metalloid. All right, but either way, in terms of reactivity, it's not making again. I took chemistry in 1996. It's not making like salts, right? With metals, a salt, you combine a metal and a non-metal, it's like an ionic compound. I should ask Denise. Denise is a chemist. She's an actual chemist. Before she was a mom, before I made her a mom, she was working in the chemistry industry. She is a chemist. I'll ask her. So we'll talk about that more in the unboxing video. Maybe she can clue us in. But the point is that silicone, you can't combine silicone with metal normally in such a way that like an alloy or like glue them together. I don't know. But this vapor deposition is like some secret sauce that these Casio engineers have. Is it just spray paint? Well, maybe we could make a video. We'll compare the fine metallic series to a regular G-Shock watch, like a regular Casio Square that I just spray paint with spray paint from AutoZone. And we'll put a clear coat on it, and we'll compare them in terms of beauty, and we'll run them through the ringer to see how tough they are. How's that for a premise of a YouTube video? And so I have two of these fine metallic series watches, again with the balloons. Where are these balloons coming from? This is outrageous. I have no idea. I'm sorry. But anyways, we have two G again with the balloons. Sorry, guys watching on the podcast, balloons just went up. All right, anyways, two fine metallic G-Shock watches, okay, that I have purchased. Which ones? Well, I'm going to leave that to be a surprise. You can guess what those two are, but I'll unbox each of them. One of them before church is Sunday, and you can look at them, and we'll see what they look like in person, and see how tough they are. And by the way, guys, have I told you that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no man comes to the Father except through him? Well, it's true. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kincaid. Thanks for watching.